As we've been reporting, the historic Plumas County town of Greenville has been overrun by fire. Gusty winds fed the Dixie Fire last night, engulfing the town, which is about 150 miles north of Sacramento. The pictures and video on social media have been very dramatic, and some of those pictures and video have been posted by Brandon Clement on his weather chasing Twitter account. That's WX Chasing. Brandon joins us now on the KCBS Newsline. Brandon, thanks for the time. A lot of those pictures reminds me of like what Paradise looked like. We're a lot of towns when the fire just completely runs over everything, and luckily people did get out, correct?
As far as I know, everyone got out. I don't know as far as specifics go if there are any injuries or fatalities, but I do know the town was evacuated a couple times actually in the last week. But there were some warnings that went out just before the fire ran over, explicitly to say, get out now, this is your last chance. And unfortunately, yeah, it does look a lot like Paradise or the towns, like you said, that have just been overrun by an aggressive fire.
What were you doing up there? Was this just a coincidence?
Well, yes and no. I cover weather and cover fires for a living. I just happened to be up at the Lake Almanar area for 4th of July weekend, and the Beckworth complex fire broke out, and ended up having to send my kids home. I just put them on a plane home and started covering the Beckworth fire. Then it turned into the Beckworth and the Tamarack and the Bootleg and the Dixie, and then was up here shooting a climate change docuseries as well. One of those series happens to be wildfires, so I've just been up covering wildfires this whole month.
So in your experience and your background, how does this fire season look as far as what you've seen weather-wise? I mean, I saw some swirling smoke and then swirling flames.
It's historic. Last season was historic. This season's worse. The only limiting factor that may prevent this year from just smashing all the records is the burn scars from last year. There's only two things that are going to make these fire stop this year, and it's either rain or running out of fuels, and neither one look good right now.
And so to clarify and to paint a picture for those that may not be familiar with the exact area, this is between 80 and Highway 49. So we have Colfax to the east, we have Grass Valley to the northwest, and we have Lake of the Pines to the south. How do you know when it's too dangerous to stay there? When do you know that it's time to get out?
Well, it really just depends. If I have room to work with multiple exit routes, I can do a whole lot more and get a whole lot closer and stay around a lot longer. When there's a lot of smoke in the area, my exit routes aren't clear. It's a little bit different. Being in evacuated areas gives you a lot more room to work, and you don't have to worry about getting caught in traffic trying to escape. So there's a lot of different factors that go in. And it's kind of one of the things you just have to understand what's going on around you at all times.
I'm wondering, for somebody like you who is a weather chaser, and I know a lot of fire photographers that are up there, at what point do you see this feels so familiar? At what point do you think that we're going to start getting numb to seeing things like this?
I mean, it's one of the things that I worry about personally. I can't speak for anyone else, but I hope nobody ever gets numb to this, because, I mean, a lot of people's lives were drastically impacted and changed forever last night. And when that happens, it shouldn't go unnoticed. For me personally, I see a lot of disasters. It's not just fires, it's hurricanes. I've seen it from volcanoes, earthquakes, floods, you name it, I've seen it. And I hope I never become numb to it. It's easy to start becoming numb to it. But one of the ways that I prevent that is really working with people in the area that were hit hardest, and try to get back. And then when I do get home from these situations, to reset, I have to completely separate my life when I get home and try and reset to prevent myself from getting numb and getting disaster fatigue. But as far as society goes, I really hope that doesn't happen.